You know that feeling, right? You click on a story that promises this absolutely wild conclusion, and then it just leaves you hanging. Well, today we're going to tear one of those strange, unfinished stories apart to figure out what's really going on. Let's get into it. And here we go. This is The Hook. I mean, this headline has it all, doesn't it? You've got a family, a mysterious animal, a vet, and the cops get called? You immediately have to know, what on earth did they find? So the story starts out pretty simply. We meet this guy, Angelo, and he's just brought home a new pet that he names Tiger. On the surface, it's a perfectly normal, kind of happy scene. And in Angelo's mind, there's no question. He is totally convinced he's adopted a regular pit bull. He's happy, he's got a new companion, and he has absolutely zero idea that anything is wrong. This is where we start. And get this goes on for 3 weeks? This isn't some instant discovery. For almost a whole month, everything seems completely normal. And that little detail? Oh, it's there for a reason. It's meant to make the coming twist feel even more shocking. And here's where the tone shifts. This line, pulled directly from the article, is just pure dread. The narrator is basically telling us that a huge, huge mistake has been made. The stakes are suddenly raised from a simple pet adoption story to something, well, something much more serious. Okay, now we get to the turning point. Angelo takes Tiger to the vet for what should be just a routine visit, but it ends up becoming the central mystery of the entire story. The reason he's even there is so incredibly mundane, just a stomach check. This is a classic storytelling trick, you know? Contrast the ordinary with the extraordinary to build up that drama. Angela is expecting a simple checkup, but the vet sees something else entirely. The tension just builds with silence. The vet doesn't explain anything, doesn't offer a diagnosis, doesn't try to reassure Angelo. He just goes quiet. And that lack of information is what creates such a powerful feeling of suspense. You're put right into Angelo's shoes, feeling his confusion. The mystery gets even deeper as the vet takes Tiger away, still without a single word of explanation. By now, as the reader, you're completely hooked. You have to know what the vet knows. And the story leaves us right here with the exact same question Angelo is asking. What was happening? What did the vet see? It feels like the perfect cliffhanger. Or is it? So you're probably leaning forward, waiting for the big reveal. Was it a wolf? A hyena? Something else entirely? Well, here's where this whole explainer takes a very sharp turn. Let's look at what the source article doesn't tell you. That's it. There is no answer. The story of Angelo and Tiger just stops. There's no next page, no link to a conclusion. The narrative that you just invested your time in has no resolution. It's a total dead end. And this brings us to the most important point of our analysis. If the story isn't really about what happened to the animal, then what is it actually about? Why would somebody write a story and deliberately leave out the ending? The real subject of this article isn't a strange dog. It's a masterclass in a very specific, very powerful form of storytelling. We're not here to solve the mystery of Tiger. We're here to solve the mystery of the article itself. So let's dissect this thing. What we all just experienced follows a simple, repeatable, and incredibly effective formula. Here it is in 3 easy steps. First, you present an intriguing puzzle. Second, you make the audience feel like the answer to that puzzle is incredibly important. And third, the most crucial step of all, you never give them the answer. And this illustrates step 1 perfectly. The headline itself is the mystery. A strange-looking dog that gets the cops involved? Your brain is immediately primed to start asking questions and hunt for the answer. And here's step 2 in action. That phrase, gravely mistaken, it adds all this emotional weight. This isn't just a funny mix-up anymore. It's a serious error with implied consequences. It makes you care about the outcome. And finally, the master stroke. The story ends on a question, intentionally leaving that mystery unresolved. It builds up all that narrative tension and then just refuses to release it, leaving you hanging. You know, there's actually a psychological principle behind all this. It's called the information gap theory. This formula works because it creates this powerful gap between what the article tells you and what your brain desperately wants to find out. That feeling of needing to close the gap? Well, that's what we call curiosity. So that brings us to the final and really the most important question. If the whole point isn't to tell a story, then why does this content even exist in the first place? What is its true purpose? We have to understand that the main objective here was never to entertain you with a beginning, a middle, and an end. A satisfying conclusion is completely irrelevant to the real goal. And here's the answer. The story isn't the product, it's just the bait. The story's only purpose is to hold your attention just long enough for you to see the real product, the advertisements all over the page. So the crucial takeaway is this. The next time you find yourself getting drawn in by a mystery online that seems a little too good to be true, ask yourself this question. Are you consuming a product, or is your attention the product being consumed? It'll change how you see almost everything online.